Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yay, okay. All right, so we have a quorum whenever you're ready.
Okay. Very good. All right. I will, this is John Moore. I will call the Water and Sewer Board meeting of February 10th to order. Brenda, if you would start with roll call for us, please.
Board Member Freeman.
Present.
Board Member Jolie.
Present.
Board Member Kelly. Board Member Mercier.
Present.
Board Member Ridley. Council Member Russell.
Present.
Council Member Ward.
Present.
Mayor Sierra.
Present.
Vice Chair Bereski.
Present.
Chair Moore.
Present. Okay. Brenda, was that I'm sorry, is that seven of us?
Actually, that's 8. We're good.
I missed one. All right. Apologize everyone for the late start. As you know, we're having IT issues. Peter, any excuse me, anything that we can cut from the agenda and carry on to the next meeting, please help identify that for me as we get there. I'll start with welcoming Cami Jalise, or congratulating on her reappointment. She's for a new term with us now. Excuse me. Again, congratulations on there. Next up, item 5A is the minutes from the January 13th meeting. I could get a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I can.
Second.
Get a second. There we go. Thank you. Any corrections, edits to the minutes? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Brenda, item 6, do we have anyone from the public to address us tonight?
No, we do not.
Okay, good. With the time that's good news. New business, item 7A. There, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, this is a fairly quick item. So there's a couple references in municipal code that need to be updated with the transfer of stormwater to utilities. So on the screen, there's the 2 references in their section in code where the Director of Public Works or the Public Works Department is referenced, and we are proposing to update that to the Director of Utilities as well as Department of Utilities in that second reference there. So I will open it up with any questions.
Okay. I get a motion for item 7A as written.
Move.
I'll move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. 7B. Go with you, Sarah.
Okay, so for this next item, I'll ask Cynthia Lane to come up. She's here in person tonight. She is the general manager for Valley Sanitation District. And what this item is for the city of Inglewood is somewhat simple. We are updating a connector district agreement. We have existing agreements with Valley Sanitation and Sheridan District Number 1. Sheridan District Number 1 is dissolving and being absorbed by Valley Sanitation District. So just as a quick overview, there are 19 connector districts with either connector district agreements with the city of Inglewood or the city of Littleton. Inglewood holds 13 of those agreements, of which there are existing agreements with Valley Sanitation District and Sheridan District Number 1. Sheridan District Number 1 was executed in 2013. The map on the right shows all the connector districts. Valley and Sheridan Number 1 are very small, so I won't attempt to point them out. So what these proposed agreements do is, one, amend the Valley Sanitation Connector District, which is really just amending the service area. So because we already provide these services to Valley Sanitation District, we're just adjusting the agreement with a new exhibit to show Sheridan District Number 1 as a part of Valley service area. So if you can see on the map on the left, there's a slightly darker outline that shows Sheridan. And it's like right where it says, I think it's, I can't see the streets, but it's just south of Hampton Avenue there. The second thing that this item considers is termination agreement with Sheridan District Number 1 on the condition that the district is dissolved and then at what point the water collection system and services transfer over to Valley, we continue providing them services until that happens. I will open it up for questions, and Cynthia is also here to answer any questions.
Doesn't sound like we have any questions. I'll throw one in. Sarah is. I assume that basically the combination of these two districts are merging into the one doesn't change the city standing at all in the contracts. So somehow we're not. There's a liability that's inadvertently being relieved or something to that effect.
There is not. I'll look to Deputy City Attorney McDermott to elaborate.
Yes, thanks for the question, Chair Moore. So no, it doesn't change any liability for the city. We're not assuming any liability with the dissolution of Sheridan District Number 1. So there wouldn't be any issues there. And essentially it's the same service area, which is now going to be under one agreement as opposed to being under two.
Great. Thank you for that confirmation. Any further questions? All right. Could I get a motion for item 7B as written?
I move the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to item 7C. Joshua Ferry, I believe, is taking over.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joshua Ferry. I'm a utilities engineer, and this item is for the combined furniture package for the Phase 2 space improvements project at the Allen Water Treatment Plant and Utilities Service Center. Since 2020, utilities has lacked permanent workspaces due to an increase in utilities staff in the department. This has necessitated the use of temporary leased office trailers at the Allen Water Treatment Plant and Service Center. In 2024, the Phase 1 Space Improvements Project was completed at the Allen Water Treatment Plant, which provided new permanent workspaces for operations and maintenance staff. The Phase 2 Space Improvements Project at the Allen Water Treatment Plant and Service Center are underway and are on schedule to complete construction this summer, 2026. These projects will provide workspaces for all utility staff not included in Phase 1. The images on the right show the existing site use of both locations. In fall 2025, utility staff engaged with the furniture vendor, BC Interiors, for furniture design and mock-ups for the Phase 2 space improvements projects. The new standalone office building at the Allen plant will be 2 stories and 8,400 square feet. It includes workspaces for up to 32 employees, including 15 offices, 17 cubicles. Other spaces requiring standardized furniture include a large conference room and other common use areas. The image on the right shows the furniture plans provided by BC Interiors. The service center includes 4,300 square feet of new building addition and renovation to part of the existing Building 11, and includes new workspaces for up to 24 employees, including 7 offices, 3 cubicles, and a workstation room. Furniture is also needed for a conference room and other common use areas. The image on the right shows plans by BC Interiors. BC Interiors was competitively selected by South Platte Renew in 2023 and has since been utilized for multiple other city facilities through parks, recreation, library, and golf. BC Interiors was also contracted for the Utilities Phase 1 Space Improvements Project. BCI staff worked with utility staff to achieve utility staff occupation of the workspace quickly following construction completion. For the Phase 2 projects, BCI has agreed to work with utilities to track the 2 project schedules against furniture lead times and provide storage in their warehouse if needed. BCI will deliver and install the furniture quickly following the substantial completion of each individual project as dictated by utility staff. BCI has a proven track record with the city on over $1.2 million of furniture services expended to date. Furniture purchased from BC Interiors also keeps furniture standardized across the city, across city facilities, and utilizes the existing bulk discount pricing offered through the course of those prior city projects. The final pricing is for $325,687 at the Allen plant and $172,192 at the service center. This totals a combined package of $497,879. Utility staff recommends an optimal source contract with BC Interiors in the amount of $497,879, including authorization to expend a 10% staff managed contingency of $49,788 for a total project authorization of $547,667. Thank you. Any questions?
It doesn't sound like it. Just we could live with it. Just there's an echo on the line now. And something tweaked in them during that presentation that caused that.
Is it better with this mic?
I'm still hearing double. Happened briefly in the prior segment too. Again, all things considered, we can tolerate it. Okay, can I get a motion for item 7C as written?
So moved.
I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to old business. With the inter-fund loan follow-up.
Thank you, Chair. We just wanted to come back to the board as a follow-up to the interfund loan that we presented last month. It's subsequently gone through City Council approval, and we have transferred the required money to pay some of the invoices that were outstanding. So if you recall, quickly run through this. So in 2018, we had actually all 3 utilities had very low rates after years of just not raising the rates. And so in 2018 it was $4.16 a quarter. And then in 2019, there was a stormwater master plan that was completed. And at that point in time, there was also a financing plan that was developed by a company called Raftellus in coordination with the City Finance Department, which then projected rates moving forward that were presented by Public Works for the next 5 years as the incremental, as that Raftellus study proposed. Then there was a city loan approved in 2019 for $3 million that was not drawn. And then in 2021, the city issued $8.6 million in stormwater revenue bonds and $26 million state revolving fund to do largely the South Englewood flood control. Stormwater capital funding timeline, you can see there was essentially there was a lot of work that was done between 2020 and today. You can see a lot of it was in the South Englewood Basin, but the bulk of the most significant project was the South Englewood Flood Reduction Program that was at 31.4 million. So I think this is just what was presented to council. The main thing that went right were there was a real need back in 2019 to rapidly invest in the stormwater program, and Public Works spent a lot of time and energy building plans and then ultimately executing the most immediate need projects, the most significant of which was South Englewood flood reduction. I think the main thing that was two main points that I think have been realized as we've all looked into this is one, that there was that $3 million general fund loan that was authorized that was never pulled on, that would have funded the Old Hamden improvements, but because it wasn't drawn, Old Hamden went against the fund balance, which then created a problem with the overall financial model because it wasn't considered in the financial model. And then the other thing was because the stormwater fund was managed out of the finance department and it was executed out of the Public Works department, there was somewhat of a disconnect in coordination differently than what we've built in utilities, which is a business solutions division, which handles the total enterprise fund financials. And so you can see what we were looking at in January. The fund balance was $300,000, and we knew we had some obligations that $775,000 that went to council. The last possible meeting that we could have taken it for first reading, which was December's meeting. And if we didn't take, that was a 2025 IGA that ideally would have been brought to council way back in May or June timeframe, but it had just delayed. And by getting it in on that last meeting, we were able to not lose the $775,000 of matching funds. We still had to work with Mile High Flood because the second reading was actually in 2026, and then we had to wait for that ordinance to be executed. So that was one of those things that was on the books and ready to be executed, but it just didn't get executed in 2025 for some reason. And we pushed it to the last possible moment to not lose $775,000 of funding. So we went with the $3 million because that's we can see the outstanding obligations are 2.566. We also think that there's some additional work that potentially needs to get executed on Old Hamden to stay ahead of Complete Streets. So we did the $3 million loan. The fund balance in the sewer fund remains very healthy, and it was approved by Water and Sewer Board. So what we've done, these are some of the solutions that we've executed. The most significant of which is we've worked with Mile High Flood to bring back $8 million. We've recently gotten some more good news on that we've paid our invoice of $775,000, which is then allowed them to match with $775,000, and they are, I believe it's. Do you have the date?
So they are meeting with their board in February. I think the date was, I want to say February 19th. That might not be the correct date. But at that point in time, they are compiling all those funds into the South Englewood Basin as matching funds for the South Inglewood Flood Reduction Project. So once that is done, they will then send us a draft IGA. We're planning on getting that at the end of February to review, where we can then take it through this board and then to council to transfer the $8 million back to the city of Inglewood in March.
So that's, so that's really, it's great news that we're moving towards that. We anticipate that that money will come back ideally in May, which then should stabilize the stormwater fund so that we can build a financial model moving forward. I think this was some additional information that was provided as a result of the a council request, and so you can see just some of the net information, some of the internal controls for Public Works and Finance, and then we included just some of the controls that we use in the Business Solutions division here at Inglewood Utilities, and some of the screenshots, which are examples of those tools. And ultimately, I want to thank this board and council for helping us address this in what I think was a very responsive yet a good result, because I think in the end, when we get to May, we're going to be in a lot better shape from a financial perspective than we were towards the end of last year and early this year. So that's the update. We've included the council request as well as the 2 meeting videos for if you'd like to. We went into much more depth in both council meetings, but that's the update. So we think we've got the first step in this process, which is that loan, making the payments, and the next step is falling into place this month, and then we'll bring an IGA and another ordinance later on this spring, which ultimately should stabilize everything by May. And that's it, Chair.
Any questions? All right, let's keep rolling. And staff's choice.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to recommend we skip 9A. We can do that another time. And we'll move to 9B, which is City Ditch Piping Project Update. And well, let me get this to the right. Yeah, okay. We're getting to the right PowerPoint here. With us to present that is Stephanie Ellis. She's the project manager for the project, and she's just going to give us a quick update and also inform the board about a change order that we have ahead of us that's due to site conditions.
Thank you for having me. I know we're getting close to time, so I'll be quick. As I believe you all know, we selected HEI Civil to complete construction for reaches 3 and 4 of the City Ditch Piping Project. In addition to piping, there's a number of supplemental services that we have included in their contract, as are listed here, including cleaning existing sections of the ditch, adding access manholes to existing pipe sections of the ditch, structural improvements to the flume over Big Dry Creek, rerouting stormwater that was discharging into the city ditch, and then slope stabilization of an existing city ditch open channel that runs very close to private properties. HEI initiated their work in October, and since then we've completed quite a bit. The pipeline has been installed in Reach 4, and there's just a little bit more work to do in that reach. We've installed majority of the pipeline in Reach 3. The stormwater has been rerouted out of City Ditch, and we've improved a stormwater channel that stormwater now flows into. We've added access manholes onto existing pipe sections of City Ditch, so now we can access them for inspection and cleaning, and we've also begun the restoration process. There's still a little bit more work to complete. That includes completing the rest of the piping in Reach 3. Some of this piping that we have left to install is the more difficult sections to install, as we have to install it via trenchless boring, and it's also the more deep sections of the pipe that we need to install. We will be completing the structural improvements on the flume and covering it so it has a cap on top. installing a measurement device in Reach 4 so that we can measure the flows in the ditch. We will still be cleaning existing sections of pipe that have sediment built up. We'll complete the Slaughterhouse Gulch area slope stabilization and restoration. We wanted to share some photos of construction with you. Here's photos from Reach 3. The left photo and the center photo are of the pipe being installed, and the photo on the right is HEI pouring a manhole to connect a new section of pipe to an existing section of city ditch pipe. Here are some photos from Reach 4. The left photo is the installation of pipeline. The center photo is that reinforcement of the stormwater channel to take on those additional flows. And the photo on the right is of a manhole being installed. As Peter mentioned, we do have a larger change order that we wanted to make you aware of and discuss with you. This came about because, as I mentioned in Reach 3, we'll be installing the part of the pipe via trenchless boring in order to go underneath Slaughterhouse Gulch and a wetland. So we'll be going underneath the stream. With that process of trenchless boring, we have to dewater or remove existing groundwater in order to install that pipeline. There's a permit from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment that we need in order to dewater that water, take it out, and discharge it back into Slaughterhouse Gulch. And for that permit, we had to take a sample to prove that the water was safe to put back into Slaughterhouse Gulch. The first sample that we received indicated that there were high iron levels in the groundwater. We wanted to make sure that was truly the case, so we took a second sample, which also indicated there are high iron levels in the existing groundwater. As you can see here, the water quality standard for iron is 1,000 micrograms per liter. The sample result that we received from our second sample on October 29th was 21,000 micrograms per liter. With that, in order to take out that water and discharge it, we are required to remediate it, which requires a special, different type of permit from CDPHE. This was not anticipated in the project, and so we have a change order of $375,939. This is a maximum change order amount, and I'll go into that breakdown a little more on the next slide. This amount is within the staff managed contingency that was approved by City Council for this project, but we know that this is a large change order and we wanted to make you aware of it. Here's a breakdown of that change order. As you can see, the first item is the dewatering and iron treatment system for 4 weeks. We were anticipating this is the minimum amount of time that this system would be required for. And then if needed, we can add on additional weeks of treatment week by week. So far, as construction has progressed and we've begun removing some of that groundwater, it does seem like we're going to be on the lesser side of this and that it's not going to take a full 8 weeks. However, some of that is going to depend on how the boring continues as we're just starting that process. We also, for our permit, are required to have weekly effluent sampling, and if required, depending on the length of time that this went, we may have to do quarterly influent sampling, and depending on the usage of the system, we may need to replace the granular activated carbon as part of the treatment system. And so that maximum total cost, again, is $375,939. That is a true maximum cost for this change order. And we still do have remaining staff managed contingency, but again, we wanted to share this with you so that you were aware. I'll pass it over to Peter, who I believe wanted to talk about next steps with the project.
Yeah, so we're getting there, and I first thing I want to do is I want to thank Stephanie. She's been the project manager on this project since 2020. Is that right? 2020?
2021.
All right, 2021.
Yeah.
5 years she's been the project manager on this project, which is great because she's taken it from concept to where we are today, which is we're actually getting it constructed and anticipate having it fully constructed by probably early 2027. We have a goal of getting it done by the end of this year. However, we're still working through the Reach 2, which is what you see up on the screen. And so we're in the process of working with Littleton right now to finalize the alignment. We had originally wanted to straight line this through from that lower part of the screen straight along the railroad there. However, the railroad would not work with us from a property rights perspective, and so we would lose our property rights. And so we ultimately had to stay within the ditch alignment, which is not ideal, but it's such a critical system. We need to maintain our property rights that have been established since the ditch was installed back in the 1860s. We anticipate that we'll be bringing this to Water and Sewer Board and Council for those agreements in the spring, and ultimately getting construction pricing through the summer to begin the construction in late summer, early fall in areas that are outside the ditch, and then ultimately once we shut the ditch off again on November 1st, we'll get right in the ditch and then finish out the full connection. So that will get us to the point where we're fully connected from Chatfield Reservoir to the Allen plant, which is a pretty significant success for our water supply. And so we're excited that it's progressing and we're getting there and things are being constructed. And like I said, I can't thank Stephanie and Sarah enough for just staying on top of this project and getting it through. There's been a lot of challenge, but we keep overcoming the challenge. And so I think that's it, Chair. That's the update.
All right, thank you. Nice progress. Item 10 is board member's choice. Is there anyone on the board that would like to raise this issue tonight?
Chair, there's actually a question.
Okay. Please go ahead.
I would like to just ask a question. When this project is complete, will it change? Will the pH of the water change?
We should end up with less hardness from one of the biggest, most significant contributing factors of what's coming into the ditch is stormwater is street runoff, and there's a pretty significant. Can we go back a slide? If you see right at the bottom of the screen there, where the ditch goes far to the right and then comes way back, there's a significant area of street drainage that dumps right into the ditch and has for decades. And that type of stormwater runoff is very, very hard, has a lot of minerals in it. And so by closing the entire reach off from that influence of that contaminated urban runoff, we should see the hardness go down. The pH itself, the pH is actually something that we adjust in the actual treatment process. So we actually keep it more on a little bit slightly higher pH. That's part of our program for our lead program. But this really should improve the source water from a hardness perspective. That's really the big thing that will change.
Okay, I appreciate that. Part of the reason I asked that question is I think when you first came, we were doing a Big Dry Creek bypass, and part of the reason we stopped that project was it would change the pH of the water.
Well, I think the excuse me, all we've done with the Big Dry Creek project right now, what we've done is we've delayed it. We've delayed it well into the future because we felt like the more effective solution would be to just do this full piping in City Ditch. I think at some point down the road, as we start to look to Big Dry Creek as a source water supply, we might look at reinitiating the remainder of that Big Dry Creek project. There is some infrastructure installed, so there's some piping that's installed, there's a vault that's installed, but when we started looking at what it would take to fully bring that inflatable dam online and all those kinds of things, it started to cost a whole lot more than I think was originally anticipated. So again, what that was trying to address was again, it's really hardness. It's the sediment and the hardness that's in the water, especially during rainfall and runoff events. We think that temporarily addresses the influence of Big Dry Creek. By piping all of City Ditch, we take all of that influence away because we're connected at that point in time to Chatfield Reservoir straight into the Allen plant. So we may look at Big Dry Creek someday in the future.
All right. Thank you very much, and I'm thankful that we're getting this done.
Yeah.
So
we're very excited. We're very excited about this. I know Stephanie's very excited to be getting this one done.
All right, thank you, Stephanie, for all your work.
Floor's open. Anything else from the board? Wait. Sounds like not. Thank you all for such a speedy time through the meeting and get us pretty much on track. Everyone have a good evening. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.